Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. Yeah. Insane. Absolutely insane. Such a damn shame.
You're watching Young Tripp Reactions, the show where rapper Young Tripp reacts to the latest videos on crime, drama, news, and so much more. Get ready, because the show's about to start. Let's go.
Peace. Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. The next video we're going to do is Pretty Woman says men usually ghost her. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Make sure you also come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram, because I post over there as well too. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Let me know about the civil rights attorneys involved, similar to Ben Crump or Ben Crump himself. Let me know about the activists that are involved, where I can join them as an activist myself in the fight for justice for you or your loved one. If it does involve a friend or a loved one, see if they want to come on the channel and be interviewed about whatever the situation is involving the police or whoever it involves. If they don't want to come on, you can come on and speak for them as a friend or relative. Or you guys could write a statement, and then I can get that statement out there along with pulling the public information. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram. And let's get into this.
Vulnerable for a second here. Okay, I'm gonna be very vulnerable for a second here. I'll try to get straight to the point, but this is not easy for me, so I'm going to try my best. But I told myself, if I can help one person feel a little less alone, like I have felt, then it would be worth it. So here I go. For a little background information, I'm 26 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. And by never, I mean like not even remotely close. I've never had a kindergarten boyfriend, middle school boyfriend, high school boyfriend, nothing. And for the longest time, I tried to not let it bother me, because it is very true. Like, you shouldn't rely on having a man to be happy, or having someone like a romantic partner to make you happy. But as a hopeless romantic, it's been weighing on my spirit really heavily. I primarily use dating apps. I don't know if that's a problem, but whatever. I've gone out in like the real life and stuff, but guys never approached me. So I just, like, the dating app thing was way more straightforward. Like, I know you like me and I like you, that's why we matched. But I've been on many dates. I've dated many guys, some up to like 6-7 months, and we haven't had like the getting serious conversation.
Pair the new Culver's
Advertising,
pickle
yeah.
burger with the Dr. Pepper
One
for the
moment.
perfect pickle pepper pairing.
Liberty Bibbity.
That's my name. Your
Let me
name's
see if I can
Liberty
skip it
Bibbity?
now, yeah.
You betcha. And I'm here to tell everyone it feels great.
Nothing. Some up to like 6-7 months, and we haven't had like the getting serious conversation, nothing. And slowly but surely, like after being single for over a quarter of a century, it's really weighing on my spirit. I don't know if any of you guys know, like a lot of you might know me from Ashley's Live, Ashley Dalton, here on TikTok. I went on her live asking for fashion advice, and I mentioned that I was really upset, like during that time, and it was because I was feeling very frustrated with dating.
Yeah, it's no reason why this woman right here, this 23-year-old woman, should even still be on the market, should still be single. It's something wrong. It's something either inherently wrong with her, it's something wrong with the way that she communicates, it's either something wrong with the guys that she picked. The first thing that she got wrong is y'all got to get off these apps. Get off these dating apps.
And Anton is right. Get off these apps. Get out in the real world. I agree with Anton. There is no reason why this woman should still be on the market and still be available. No reason. Obviously because I don't know her. I mean, maybe there's something wrong with her. Maybe it's something wrong with the guys that she's picking. I guarantee you, probably if I met her, I would get to know her. A lot of people just don't want to get to know people. They want to when we start talking about guys specifically, if you ain't giving it up right away, then I don't want to get to know you. But also that correlates with who it is that you're picking. If you're picking decent dudes, like I like to get to know people, but I'm still a dude, but I want to get to know you too. I don't want to just be intimate with somebody I don't know. But there is plenty of men out here who just be intimate with people randomly and don't know them. I don't know. Maybe the dudes were trying to come on to her too strong. And she's like, no. And then, again, picking the wrong type of dudes. I would personally take time, get to know her, see what she's really about, not just trying to get at her romantically in the bedroom. Again, very pretty woman, like Anton said. No reason for her to still be on the market. No way. There has to be something, like Anton said, wrong with her or wrong with the people that she's picking. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
I know it's something wrong with the way that she communicates. It's either something wrong with the guys that she picked. The first thing that she got wrong is y'all got to get off these apps. Get off these dating apps. I know it's a lot of white women, for example, that love to talk about how they on the dating app, yet they still single. A lot of the older white women likes to embrace dating applications. They're not going anywhere, so I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. But the first thing that she got to do is she got to get off these apps. The second thing that she has to do is she has to stop focusing on a man. And I understand, 23 years old, never had a boyfriend, but it's not stopping her from dating. And she didn't say that she was a virgin. So I'm assuming that she out here really still busting it down for a real one, but yet she's spreading herself thin amongst the men that she's probably not supposed to be with, that she's meeting, that has crafted their profile on a dating app. Get off apps, touch grass in real life, go and have fun, embrace people, and then she may also have to shoot her shot at some of the guys that she interact with outside of just being in a space to where, because I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of women don't like the fact that they got to say something to men because men have now, adjusted to the climate that women have created, that men have allowed for them to create, realistically. But I don't believe in dating. I always tell people that you need to be networking and placing yourself in spaces where people are able to authentically see who each other are without any kind of romantic interest. And that's how you actually find the person that you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life, or for whatever season of your life that you guys are going to be together, right? So, when she says she's out and about, where is she?
Customers report
Advertising,
76%
y'all.
less manual work on average with QuickBooks and Intuit Intelligence, freeing up small business owners.
Who are these guys, or for whatever season of your life that you guys are going to be together, right? So, when she says she's out and about, where is she?
Yeah, I'm with Anton. Like, where are you hanging out and about at? I may not necessarily agree with Anton that there's no such thing as dating or just trying to meet people just, through other things that's not connected to. You may meet somebody through something that's not romantic. I mean, I've heard of people meeting people just walking out of the store, out of the grocery store and stuff. All that is like cool, but I don't know if that's what Anton is talking about. Of course, like people meeting people at church and stuff like that. I don't necessarily agree with that. You have to be swiping online, and maybe that's what he meant. But I know Anton is so old school that I'm not necessarily sure exactly what he means regarding that. So I can't necessarily say I disagree with him. So let's excuse that. If you're talking about, if Anton is talking about meeting people like through the grocery store, at church, and not necessarily getting on a dating app, yeah, I totally agree with him on that. Meeting somebody on a dating app, you don't know what it will be like once you go meet them in person. They may think one thing about your pictures, and then see you in person and think you're a totally different person and think that you scammed them and catfish them and all that stuff. And it's just better just to meet in person. And some people may be unhinged and then they may try to do something to you and all that. Unless you're talking to somebody all the way in another country, there's no reason to use a dating app. That's my opinion and what I think about that. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Who are these, or for whatever season of your life that you guys are going to be together, right? So, when she says she's out and about, where is she? Who are these guys that she's interacting with, and what city does she live in?
I would go on dates and I would like someone, and I never feel like I got to the point where like they like me. I always feel like I'm in a position where I like someone 10 times more than they like me. I try my best to be, kind and polite and nice and sweet and caring and considerate.
Try your best.
But it never seems to be enough. Like, it's getting to a point it's really frustrating. I see so many people around me in my life that I know who have found someone who kind of made the decision like, oh, I like you enough to make a point to have you stick around type of thing. But that's not something that I've ever experienced. And it makes me...
Well, you also don't want somebody who is just basically tolerating you. You want somebody who really, really loves you, likes you, cares about you, not just tolerating you. You don't want that. You want it to be love and they really like you, you really like them. A person there's always going to be one person in a relationship that's going to love or like somebody more than the other person. There's always that. But you don't want it to be in a ridiculous type of situation where you ridiculously like him more than he likes you. The same thing if you flip it around. If you're a man regarding a woman, you don't want it to be where she extremely likes you. Or where you extremely like her, but she doesn't extremely like you just as much, or at least not even near close. You're miles apart with how much the other person likes the other person. You don't want to be in that type of relationship. You want it to be at least somewhat close. You know, you may like this person 90%, but they may like you 80. You know, okay, cool. Even if they like you 75 and you like them, 55 or whatever, all that is all okay. But if they like you 20% and you only like them 5%, that's a bit too far when you're talking about a romantic relationship. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Really sad but that's not something that I've ever experienced, and it makes me really sad because, like I mentioned, I am a hopeless romantic, and it's not for lack of trying or anything, but I haven't been successful, and it really hurts in an embarrassing way where it's just like,
I surprised my dad with a custom song, and his reaction was incredible. You must see this.
Obviously, it really hurts in an embarrassing way where it's just like, obviously, if nothing works out, you're gonna turn and be like, oh, maybe it's a me thing, maybe.
A lot of times you can only get embarrassed if you're looking for validation from outside sources. It's the only way you can get embarrassed. You can't embarrass me with something that I'm not embarrassed by. But somebody else can then make you feel a certain way. And that's where the embarrassment comes from. And so I'm also wondering, is she doing this because she's looking for validation from outside sources? Or is this something that she truly, truly is looking for or is open to a person that adds value into her life? And I'm also trying to figure out, is she rejecting people that probably is good people for her?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure that out too. Are you rejecting people that would be great? And friend zoning people that you should be dating and trying to date somebody who fits everything that you want, 6 feet tall, 6 figures, own houses, cars, all that. It goes back to me talking about the thing with the table. You have a table delivered to your house. The legs are already on the table. One of the legs break. You got to use your warranty. We're not coming to fix it. You say, oh, it broke while you were here. Nope. It was all good when we left. You thinking, no, it wasn't. But hey, you asked them to deliver it with the legs already on it versus delivering it with the legs off. And now you're trying to put the legs on and then something goes wrong. It breaks or you missing a piece. Okay. Y'all didn't give me all my pieces. I can't even put the legs on or it broke or something. Okay. Well, that's on us. You don't have to use your warranty. It's the same thing with a relationship. It's better to go in and build with somebody who has nothing and you build with them, or they have a little something, something, and you have a little something, something, versus coming in and everything is already peaches and cream and he done bought his house and he done bought the cars and he making money legally and possibly even illegally and everything looks so great. But, but again, he's not treating you right. He's stepping out on you. He's putting his hands on you, all this other stuff. But it's all worth it for this grand life when I keep explaining in these reactions, and so does Anton, that's not the way to be. Pick people who you can actually have a real, serious relationship with, not where everything is already set up because that person has already built their life and got money and all that, and you're just in it versus you being a part of it, building it with them. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
I'll talk about that part. And I'm also trying to figure out, is she rejecting people that probably is good people for her?
Like,
Don't talk about that part.
I don't have something that most people are looking for, and I can't figure out what it is, and it's really, really frustrating. There's so many times where I've been dating a guy, like, on the apps or whatever, and things are going good, and we've been seeing each other for months, and I'm currently going through this right now. And I noticed that they start, like, updating their dating profile and stuff like that, and then I go back to...
So they're playing games. You're picking the wrong people. Kind of goes back to what me and Anton just said. And then are you rejecting people? So like if I stepped in front of you, even though one of my eyes is bad, would you reject me? You know, are you rejecting other people who may have other little minor things? You know, all of that is a factor as well too. Like Anton said, are you rejecting good potential people? Let's continue.
You know, and I'm currently going through this right now. And I noticed that they start, like, updating their dating profile and stuff like that. And then I go back to, you know, they're looking for something I don't have, but I don't know what that is. Like, I feel like things are going good.
Well, she's stalking people's dating profiles after she started talking to them.
And I feel like I'm not a bad looking person, you know what I mean? But still, like, and even when I try to date people who are like me, like, I'm out of the league or whatever, I still, like, they still don't appreciate me. They still don't give a crap about me.
Have you heard about pop-on siding? We need 50 homeowners in your area to trial this
And even when I try to date people who are like me, like, I'm out of the league or whatever, I still, like, they still don't appreciate me. They still don't give a crap about me. And I'm like at a point where every once in a while I have, like, a mental breakdown or, like, an existential crisis where I'm just, like, crying, like, I'm gonna die alone. Like,
you're 23.
There's nothing I can do. Like, I'm stuck.
You're 23. You're a pretty young girl. You're 23. And now all of her life focus is completely on whether she's single or not. That's the problem. You probably even seem needy inside of these quote-unquote relationships that you're grasping from the internet and from dating apps.
Nobody wants to be with me. I try and I try, and I don't know what I'm missing. And there's gonna be people who will be like, oh, like, it'll come eventually, but it's so easy to say that when you've already been in a relationship, and it's so easy to say, like, oh, it's not that, like, it's not all it's cracked up to be, but if that's the case, then you wouldn't be in a relationship. If that's the case, you would never be in one for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? If that's the case, you can just break up with the person you're with right now if it's nothing, but they're not going to do that. Nothing I can do. Like, I'm stuck. You're at a point where every once in a while I have, like, a mental breakdown or, like, an existential crisis where I'm just, like, crying, like, I'm gonna die alone. Like,
you're 23.
There's nothing I can do. Like, I'm stuck.
I get what Anton is saying, that she's 23. But again, Anton doesn't realize too, you've been with the person you've been with, you know, your entire life, your high school sweetheart, that worked out for you. Anton is always talking about people being with their high school sweethearts, but that doesn't work for everybody. And I'm speaking even from experience. In most cases, it doesn't really work for most people. You know, I can't speak about, you know, Anton's situation because I wasn't there, but some men that literally force it to work is usually simping to make it work. You know, I'm not accusing him of that. I'm just saying in general that a lot of times a person is, you know, simping to make it work or trying to control the other person to make it work. I know people who believe that I was like trying to control my ex-fiance, my high school sweetheart, like her relatives and people, you know, specifically some people on her mother's side. They're there was people on her father's side who was trying to rush the relationship along and trying to push marriage immediately and all that type of stuff. But what Anton is trying to talk about is somebody sticking to their high school sweetheart. And in most cases, I remember even my father telling me that probably my relationship with my high school sweetheart wasn't going to work out. I remember other relatives and people saying that. And they were saying it just because, even statistics and a lot of other things show that those relationships usually don't work out. So what I would, say, which is a little bit different than Anton, is that you should find somebody that brings value into your life. So I agree with him on that. And be open-minded to different people, regardless of what they are, which obviously it sounds like she is, because she's saying that she talked to people that's even out of her league, but they still basically treat her like crap. But I don't know. I'm not there to see exactly what's going on with her situation. But she seems like a pretty young lady. Anton is just focused on, that she's 23. Sometimes you got to be open-minded to traveling and meeting people in other different ways. Like I said, she seems very pretty. I would, rock with her and see what she got going on. But I don't know what's going on with the dudes that she's talking to and why they're not. But, but again, she's kind of right, though, too. If you've been in a relationship or in a relationship, you don't see the same thing as a person that's not in that situation as you. Just like a lot of people will assume that just because I'm visually impaired, I should be happy to sit at home and collect checks from the government and be happy to get assistance and all that. No. If you think that is so great, then you sit at home and get assistance, So I get where she's coming from when she talks about people trying to make it seem like, well, if being in a relationship isn't so cracked, what it is so cracked up to be, then you wouldn't want to be in one. Then you should just end the relationship with the person that you're talking to right now, and just don't talk to nobody. If it's so not really as what it's cracked up to be. People try to make things sound like things aren't as what it is. When you're trying to make it sound so great, but you doing it. Like telling somebody that has a simplified disability, well, you get money from the government. You can sit at home. You don't even need to work. Well, if working isn't what it's cracked up to be. If it isn't so cracked up to be, then why aren't you working? Why aren't you sitting at home collecting stuff from the government? You see what I'm saying? So that's why you shouldn't be telling people those types of things. And I have relatives and people that try to spin that narrative and make it sound good when it's not good. Now, in the case of this lady here regarding a relationship, everybody wants to be able to be in a relationship, but you want to be in a good relationship and find the right person to be in a relationship with and be open-minded to people. It could be that she's just been in relationships and then the person just ends it for whatever reason. She's just picking bad people and they just don't want a good person, and so they're just ending the relationship, because they don't want somebody as good. They want somebody to be toxic. They want somebody the woman to be lashing out and, and stuff like that. Some men, they just like toxicness. Maybe they've stepped out on her and maybe she's not getting into all that, but maybe they cheated on her and then she just ended the relationship, but they wanted her to fight for the relationship. There's men out there that's like that. They want the woman to lash out. They want her to be this type of black woman that lashes out, ready to fight the other girl and all that, to prove that they love them and all that. There's men out there that's like that, which is weird and crazy. But maybe she's not like that. Maybe she's like, well, I'm done with you, and then they definitely just want to be done because they want to see her fight, and that's not what she does. So who knows, though? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
23, you're
crying like, I'm gonna die alone. Like,
you're 23.
There's nothing I can do. Like, I'm stuck.
You're 23. You're a pretty young girl. You're 23. And now all of her life focus is completely on whether she's single or not. That's the problem. You probably even seem needy inside of these quote-unquote relationships that you're grasping from the internet and from dating apps.
He wants to be with me. I try and I try, and I don't know what I'm missing. And there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, oh, like, it'll come eventually, but it's so easy to say that. I just back and forth with somebody. I'm not the type of person to argue. I'm never the type of person to raise.
See, that's and I kind of earlier trying to go back to where I left off at, because I actually had to stop the recording yesterday and then get back into it today. This is actually I think where I really stopped at. I went back a little bit, but this is where I really stopped at, and that's kind of why I was saying what I said earlier. That how she said, she's not the type that argues. She's not the type that's gonna go back and forth with you. It is what it is, and then you've either stepped out on her or whatever the situation is, and so she done. And so she's not gonna try to fight to prove her point. And again, there's a lot of men out there that want you to do that, and maybe that's the type of men that she's dating, that want to fight and or want you to go and fight the other girl that they didn't stepped out on you on, to see if you approve your love and other crazy things, because people out here is just crazy these days. So who knows what the situation is and why she's bringing this up, but maybe she'll get into it, maybe she won't. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
My voice, it's easy to say that. I just back and forth with somebody. I'm not the type of person to argue. I'm never the type of person to raise my voice. I feel like men in general, people who, I don't know, get their heart racing in that way, or it's more exciting. No, don't do it. Don't change into the toxic girl.
And I get what Anton is saying. Don't change into the toxic girl. I don't think she's saying that she wants to change into the toxic girl, though, Anton. She's saying that men like those types of women who basically act toxic. You're telling her not to change into that. But again, Anton has to realize he's much older. She's not going to talk to you. You're married at that, and you're 50-something years old. It's good advice to not do that. But again, our society is insane with what men want. They want to see a woman fight another woman, show up with a push-button machine, possibly even use it, all that to fight for their love and all that. It is crazy. Yeah, hopefully she does not change like that. But Anton also doesn't get it. It is difficult because of where our society has gone regarding relationships. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Last thing.
And
why couldn't she?
This is gonna sound stupid, but I really feel like the fact that I'm so unproblematic and untoxic, I'm not the type of person to go back and forth with somebody. I'm not the type of person to argue. I'm never the type of person to raise my voice. I feel like men in general, people who, I don't know, get their heart racing in that way, or it's more exciting.
No, No, don't do it. Don't change into the toxic girl. That's the last thing that these guys need out here in these streets.
More difficult? I don't know, but I don't like to be like that, and every time I've come to a point where I feel like I wanna act out of turn, I just move myself away from that person, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to get to a place where I'm acting a certain way that doesn't reflect my best self, if that makes any sense. But I've tried everything. I've tried the nonchalant. I've tried to be the person to initiate.
She just needs to be herself. She needs to be in the right spaces, and she needs to stop being so desperate. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later.
I don't know if Anton realized that the audio isn't on, because that's his. I don't know what happened. I know Anton at the end was saying that she shouldn't be desperate. I don't know if desperate is what you would call it. I know Anton's like, she's only, you're 23, but most people have, an elementary friend. A lot of people have a middle school friend. A lot of people have a high school friend. People even have a college friend. People have, a romantic partner throughout different phases of their life. Maybe the same person, maybe multiple different people at different phases. You may have an elementary friend, then a middle school friend, then a high school friend, then a college friend. Then, you may stay with the college friend, you may stay with the middle school friend, you may stay with the high school friend, you may not date somebody from school anymore. You may go out here and find somebody in the world and then start being in a relationship with them, somebody that you just met out and about. Everything is possible. I don't know about necessarily desperate. Maybe she is. I don't really like to use that word, because you just never know what somebody's situation is. I've been in relationships. I've had different types of relationships with people. So I can't speak from her perspective of not ever talking to anybody. And neither can Anton. People are so quick to throw out words like desperate and all that when you just don't know what people's situations is. And so I really would be cautious about throwing out that word that she's desperate, because that you don't know what somebody's been through trying to be in a relationship. I kind of know a little bit what her situation is like as I've been older and tried to be in a relationship with people my own age. As an adult, I didn't obviously have issues, as a kid, because I was with, my high school sweetheart who was also visually impaired. Obviously that didn't work out. But as I've tried to talk to people who are not disabled, who I find attractive, has been difficult. So I kind of know what her situation is like. Not exactly, because I've had people, in my younger days. So again, a person like Anton who has something successful going on, and had something successful going on his entire life, because he's been with the lady that he's been with forever. You're going to have that whole thing about, oh, she's desperate. But just imagine if nobody liked you. Or just imagine, in the case of me being as an adult and people act funny because of one of your eyes being bad. You have to think about other people's situations from their perspective. The same thing when I have people, friends, relatives, especially relatives, who talk about oh, well, you get stuff from the government. You could really sit at home and don't do nothing. why would you want somebody, that's not no substance. Why would you want somebody to sit at home and do nothing? So, you know, it's easy to say things when you think you would do it, but more likely you probably wouldn't do it, and you would want all the same things as that person wants for themselves. In the case of like me, like working, getting up, doing things I'm supposed to do, you know, bringing value into my own life, like I'm supposed to do. It's easy to say that, oh, I could just get chicks from the government, you know? Yeah, and that doesn't do anything in your life, and the government doesn't even pay enough money. And then, you know, the situation like with this young lady, you could say, oh, you know, she's only 23, but to a person, it may feel like, dang, I mean, 23, you know, yeah, you're still pretty young, but I mean, you getting close to, you know, 27, 28, late 20s, you're in, you know, 23, you know, you're in your early 20s, but who knows if it will really change, because people out here seem like they stuck in their own way. But I believe that she just ain't ran across the right dudes, or she's refusing to date the right dudes, is what I'm kind of getting out of it, because it's easier for women to date than it is for a man to date, because women have all these standards, 6 feet tall, 6 figures in the bank, owning their own house, riding around in Ferraris and all that. It's easier for a woman to date than it is for a man to date. So I don't, you know, I believe that things will look up for her if she just be more open-minded. But let me know what y'all think. I'll have the original video pinned at the top of the chat and at the top of the link in the description. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram, because I post over there as well too. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. My professional FB and my professional Instagram will be pinned at the top of the chat, along with the original video, and at the top of the link in the description, along with the original video. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB or on my professional Instagram. Let me know about the civil rights attorneys involved, similar to Ben Crump or Ben Crump himself. Let me know about the activists that are involved, where I can join them as an activist myself in the fight for justice for you or your loved one or friend. Also, see if your friend or a loved one want to come on to my channel and tell their side of the story of whatever has happened with them involving the police or whoever it was. If they're not in a situation where they can come on and speak, either due to a tragic outcome involving the police or whoever it was, or if they're just not wanting to come on and speak, then you can come on and speak for them as a relative or friend, or you guys can just write a statement and then I'll get that statement out along with pulling the public information. Either way works. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Also make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram, because I post over there as well too. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And I hope things look up for this young lady, because she is very pretty, and I think that she could easily find somebody if she be open-minded, because I would be open-minded to getting to know her and not be so closed-minded like the people that she's running across. But I also think that she's choosing to go for people who just have a closed-minded mind. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.